Stephen King's The Dark Tower is without a doubt King's crowning achievement in world building, character work, and storytelling as a whole. Having recently finished the series, reviews coming soon, the whole time I couldn't help but think to myself, why the hell hasn't this been properly adapted, with the love and care that it deserves? Imagine something with a Game of Thrones sized budget and crew, and it would honestly be cheaper considering the greatly smaller cast and more consistent locations. Amazon recently tried their hand at getting a pilot off the ground, which apparently was damn good according to those who saw it. Sadly, it wasn't picked up for some unknown reason, but I'm still holding out hope that we will see a project like this get off the ground one day. Hollywood even tried their hand at it, and rather than making a Lord of the Rings level epic fantasy series, they decided to take 7 books and basically pick a paragraph from each book and make it a flavor of the week fantasy for 12-year-olds. Using Stephen King's crowning achievement? What? It doesn't even make sense. So today, I'm excited to bring you the first video in a series I want to do, where I pitch you my hypothetical cast, and get this, and crew for a dream HBO Max adaptation of all 7 core Dark Tower books. This will likely be a 4-video series, the first being the Quartet of 19, the second video being the villains and agents of the Crimson King, the third being key characters that have helped the Quartet or hindered them, and the last video will be discussing who I think would be the best choice to direct each season of the show and score the show. So, without further ado, let us strap in and let us explore the potential castings for our heroes of Midworld, the Quartet of 19. The Gunslinger. The central character to the entire story and the man who we spend the most time with throughout. What can I say about Roland Deschain that hasn't been said before? Roland is cold-hearted and shut off emotionally due to an unhealthy devotion to his goals and a lifetime of trauma. Very, very slowly do we see Roland allow himself to become vulnerable and discuss his past with the Quartet. Above all else though, he is Din of the Quartet. He is their leader. His cold, killer's eyes, and striking resemblance to Clint Eastwood is a consistent description we have of him. So we need an actor who can embody all of this. Be cold, intimidating, and a killer, but also someone who can show a nuance of a damaged past while still maintaining strength. This actor must also be able to convey qualities of leadership and becoming a trusting figure for his Quartet. The internet's popular pick is essentially perfect. Viggo Mortensen is the name spread across subreddits and King forums time and time again. I mean, look at his performance as Strider in The Lord of the Rings. He starts off as cold and mysterious, just beyond ominous, and the Fellowship has no choice but to trust this shady figure. I think Viggo is a perfect choice. Or at least was a perfect choice, about 10 years ago. I mean, god damn did he ever look the part. Yes, Roland is rather aged, but I don't see him quite so gray. Maybe this is something hair and makeup could fix, but I think I have a better pick. Sorry Reddit, please don't get mad at me. When I decided to go in a different direction, I took a look at all my options once again. Idris Elba has the look absolutely, and I think could pull it off with the right passionate crew behind his performance, but seeing his performance in the Dark Tower film, it was so clear that he simply did not give a shit about it, and it was such a phoned-in performance, which is really heartbreaking because I think he could have pulled it off. Daniel Craig and Sean Bean briefly crossed my mind, and I got really excited when I briefly considered Aaron Eckhart because god damn does he look the part. But he's a little young and a little too handsome and not ugly enough to be playing old long, tall, and ugly, as Eddie would call him. And then it hits me. Javier Bardem is the perfect choice for Roland Deschain, the Gunslinger. I mean, look at the guy. He is so damn intimidating. Imagine this dude walking through Midworld with those big irons on his hip. He has such a wide range of performances to look at and has captured elements of Roland in so many of his other characters throughout his career. He has those killer's eyes and that rough and gruff kind of voice. I mean, even if he played it up a touch bit more and added some grit to it, I can hear it now and it sounds damn good.
You've been putting it up your whole life, you just didn't know it. You know what date is on this coin?
No.
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails.
He has such a unique look, and his face is handsome but tough and weathered. He looks as if he's been walking around Midworld for ages. Roland also is a bit of a womanizer, and Bardem is a handsome guy, so I think it makes sense. Bardem could effortlessly show off every aspect of Roland so convincingly, from leader to killer to adventurer to father. Look at his roles in James Bond, No Country for Old Men, even Mother. I mean, everything about Bardem just screams gunslinger. Jake Chambers. Listen, I don't got much to say on this. Child actors usually get their breakout role as a child, and by the time they're well known and their career really takes off, they've aged out of the role we know them for. I want Jake young, like 10 or 11. I consider the kid from Jojo Rabbit, but not to be rude, I just don't get hero vibes from him. And Jake Chambers is my goddamn hero. So for Jake, honestly, my preferred pick is an unknown child actor. Find a strong actor who's 11, 12, 13, even 14, as long as they look passing for the age of 10 or 11. They need to be vulnerable as hell and start off pretty darn weak. I mean, when Jake's in the way station and we first discover him, he's practically shaking in his boots with terror. It would be weird if it was an older kid like Noah Schnapp from Stranger Things or something. I could give the cop-out answer and say Jacob Tremblay, but even him, I think, has passed the playable age range for Jake Chambers. Let some unknown kid find his way on the path of the beam and into a casting room and into our hearts. Susanna Dean. Listen, I'm not going to waste your time here. There is one option and one option only. I've done some research on some other fan casts, and people seem to have just thrown a dart at a dartboard of talented black women, without much consideration of what type of performer fits the role of Susanna. Susanna is probably the hardest role to play after Roland. Roland is hard because he has hundreds of nuanced emotions to bring out with every line. Susanna is hard because she has 4 vastly different personas to work through in her performance. Odetta Holmes, the well-spoken and confident, respectable civil rights activist. Detta Walker, the rage-fueled, white man-hating petty thief. Susanna Dean, the culmination of her life's hardships into one confident, loving mother figure and a badass gunslinger. And lastly, Mia, the mother of pure evil who feasts on live animals such as rats and pigs in the night. Don't worry, a proper Mia casting will come out in the next video. So, who can portray all of these? Well, you don't really need to think about it at all. No better option exists than Lupita Nyong'o. I mean, come on. Look at her vast career and range. We know she's capable of tons of different types of roles. Compare Maz Kanata from the Star Wars films, to Black Panther, to 12 Years a Slave. I mean, the woman is unidentifiable between her characters. With every role she plays, she is a chameleon, and she basically played a Detta Odetta type character in Jordan Peele's Us.
Had a second child, a boy this time. They had to cut her open and take him from her belly. The shadow had to do it all. Herself. She named him Pluto. He was born to love fire!
And that is why our choice for Susanna is without a doubt Lupita Nyong'o. Eddie Dean. Aaron Paul.
Thanks, man. Oh, hey, guy, you forgot something. Yeah, you forgot your ice trays. You're gonna need the ice tray.
Kidding! This is a popular one I see a lot, but I think Aaron is a bit old for the role, or maybe looks too old. And he has a sense of maturity to him nowadays that wasn't there in the Breaking Bad days. I mean, if I could go back in time and pluck him out of season 1 of Breaking Bad, you better believe he would be the perfect choice for Eddie Dean. Sadly, our hypothetical adaptation takes place in good old 2021, so that ain't possible. Eddie Dean is described as someone who doesn't look like an addict of hard drugs at all, but rather someone who is handsome and charming. He's also the comic relief many a time throughout the series, so we need someone who can convey a dark past of crime and addiction, but also is downright hilarious and charming, while being heroic and brotherly to his quartet. When I had only read Gunslinger and Drawing of the Three, I saw Charles Baker in my head, better known as Skinny Pete. But then he was described as handsome, which wiped that visual off the table. Sorry, Skinny. Actor Buddy Duris from the Safdie brothers film Good Time is hysterical in that movie and an ungodly talented actor, and he plays a very Eddie Dean-like role, while also having that NYC grit that previous choices were missing. But he just isn't traditionally handsome like I see Eddie in my head. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks while doing my research. Who is an actor that is funny, can play roles of disturbed and troubled people, that has New York City grit that I've been missing, and is also drop dead gorgeous? Well, pan to the right of Buddy Durst and good time to reveal our pick for Eddie Dean, Robert Pattinson. I mean, it was so obvious the whole time. How could I not have seen it? If you've only seen him in Twilight, you're probably getting ready to smash that dislike button into holy hell, and I don't blame you. But please, consider the fact that his career has skyrocketed into roles previously laughable at the idea of being played by the sparkly vampire boy. He's hilarious in The Lighthouse, and in Good Time he is, well, just watch.
Losers like you are incapable of taking care of themselves. You're either leeching off mommy, or leeching off welfare, or living off the government in jail. That's you!
You don't know the first thing about me, bro.
What's to know? What's to know? You serve absolutely no function whatsoever. It's pathetic.
And that is our Eddie Dean. Father Callahan. And lastly, we come to Per Callahan. And disclaimer, I have not read Salem's Lot, so if there is a physical description in there I am missing out or neglect, please forgive me. Callahan's a tough one, and there are multiple ways we could go about casting Per Callahan. A lot of people are casting him online as a recovered drunkard or an actor who has played a priest before, which are pretty weak jumping off points for me. So I'm basing my Callahan off the mannerisms and characteristics described by King in the book, not basing my casting choice on what the actor has played before. James Cromwell has been tossed around a lot because he already played the pair once, and it would be a great way to tie in pre-existing King adaptations into this Dark Tower series, which is actually a good idea, but I don't know if Cromwell has it in him at this stage of his acting career, and I haven't seen much of his work though either. Dude is an absolute legend in real life though. Callahan is a dude who has seen it all, from vampires to addiction, almost as if that's a running theme in the Dark Tower universe, to helping the less fortunate, to battling a robotic humanoid wolves, to dimension hopping. This dude just exudes vibes of content, been there, done that wisdom. He is soft in tone, yet tough in attitude. And when I think of that kind of person, I think of a little character you may have heard of. Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, a movie I hate, absolutely nails this. And Hamill has such a legacy and career behind him and is endlessly talented. I even considered him for the Crimson King based on his work in the show Vikings.
You are not alone. You have a mother and a father to protect you, to keep you safe. Why? Because when a man stands alone, he is vulnerable to a physical or spiritual attack. When he stands with his brothers, committed to his purpose, he is no longer alone.
Hamill can be stern, soft-spoken, and badass as hell. Picture the scene where Callahan sacrifices himself so Jake can escape the Dixie Pig. I can't see Cromwell up there holding that turtle, but I can see Mark Hamill knocking it out of the park. Mark Hamill is Father Donald Callahan. And there we have it, folks. Our main quartet of 19 has been cast. There are many more characters to come and many more videos on the Dark Tower to be released, as it seems to be all I can think about these days. If you enjoyed this video, please share it around with your friends who enjoy Dark Tower. Maybe throw it on some forums. It would really help me out a lot. So thank you guys so much. Please like, comment, and share, and let me know who you would cast in the comments below. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.